that's another interesting question. Leonardo, are you playing with cloud? What are your thoughts to move to the cloud, move on to the... So look.
Yeah.
So I am certified with AWS and Oracle Cloud. No, not Cricket, man, sorry. So I did the certification on AWS and Oracle Cloud because it was fancy in my company, and it's always better to have certification than not. I worked a lot in a project before leaving Pecan with Google Cloud as well. So, I mean, okay, I get the point. What are my thoughts? So my thoughts are, we like it or not, it is what it is. It is good for us because many people move to the cloud, so it's a lot of work for us. So it brings a lot of activity, so it is good. If the question behind that is that, are you impressed by what is in the cloud? I would say, look, 15 years ago, I was renting a Debian server in a French company named OVH. And it was, I mean, the same. Okay, it was not that fancy. I could not do Lambda function and everything, but I had my servers rented in somewhere else. And it took, I don't know, it was taking 15 minutes between my credit card and when I paid and when I got the server. And I mean, so the concept is not very new. So I'm not very impressed, but I'm not saying it is bad. I mean, right. The thing is that what I the most fear that move to the cloud is a huge thing. So everyone now being able to draw a square and put an IP on it is a cloud architect. So, and now we are often in situations where it is the same, like you take a kid, 10 years old, you put it in a big shop with toys for 24 hours. What's gonna happen? He will open every box and will play with nothing. And with the cloud, some of the cloud architects, I'm not saying all are bad, but I met lots, they are trying all the options. I got some people telling me, oh yes, but Netflix does that. Yeah, well, Netflix does that. And then, well, okay, we have one database and 2 users, so maybe we don't need that. So these guys just want to try every feature. So at the end of the day, it's a big mess. But it's like everything, when something is new, you know, you have an adaptation thing. And, so I would say, Leonardo, it is what it is. Honestly, it hasn't changed the world for me. When I work to the cloud, it is still SSH, VI, and shell script because it is what it is. Okay, you have Python to do this and that. Recently, I worked, before I left Pecan, I redeveloped a tool because it was not working in the cloud. It is more and more reliable, but I don't know, like 2 years ago, Oracle Cloud was really not finished, I would say. But it's getting better and better. But you know, for us, what does it change? I mean, currently when I log on to a server from Brisbane, it is SSH, PuTTY, Mobile XDR, whatever terminal you use. In the cloud, it is SSH. You know, it is kind of the same. You know, there is something as well that my old French friend told me that, you know, when you start up a Windows computer or your Windows server, okay, and you don't know anything, but you have a mouse and you can click everywhere. So you can try, you don't read the documentation, right? You try, you click, you try and fail, reboot, it works not. When you are logged on a Unix server, you have a prompt, you have nothing. So you have first to learn. So it's a bit of the same with the cloud. It looks easy. It looks easy because interfaces are nice, you know, you can click but well, man, you have tough network things behind that, you know, you have tough things to know. So I think it's going to be a bit of a mess during maybe a few years after that, because it's new, so many people rushes in it. But I mean, it is what it is. Honestly, I don't mind. I mean, for example, if you look at what AWS did with Oracle RDS, they did a very good job. I mean, they did a very good job with lots of packages to read alert log, to do tons of things. They did tons of tooling. And before I left Pecan, I also participated to develop an open source project for Google, and Google sells it. Well, sells it. Publish it and maintain it now, which based on Ansible to create databases and rack and data guards. So things are done. But I mean, you know what? 15 years ago, I was contracted to IBM, and I did that in a more simple way. But it was shell script, a cron tab, and we were creating the VMs, the Oracle database. We were able to create the change, the tool with curl. So, you know, behind that, it's almost always the same technology, right? I mean, virtual machines are not new. Solaris was doing that 20 years ago. IIX, IBM IIX. So.
That's right.
So yes, I am playing with the cloud. What I might thought, it is what it is. It's good for us. Honestly, I'm not very, I don't know. It doesn't change much for me. The thing is that I see more and more people saying, manage Oracle in a container. And okay, it's fun, but what is the point? I mean, you know, I can understand the containers for an application because you need to deploy 100 of them in a minute, but for database, it's pretty much static, right? So I'm not sure, but you know, when it's like in a game. I mean, when a new civilization, a new card is introduced, a new meta has to be done. So people are trying things and thinking about that, and a new meta, meaning a new average thing to be done. So I think we are still in a kind of a research phase with the cloud because it's still new, right?
Right. That's.
Are you planning to change your career line, or will stick with technical till you retire, Ravi?
Good question from Ravi.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against changing everything. I don't know. You know, I think that when you are motivated and when you're ready to move your butt and work, you can succeed. So honestly, I would even be keen on changing.
Good.